Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cynthia. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, an OG, a returning viewer, thank you guys for always coming back. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. And to the new members of the team, I saw you guys. Thank you guys for joining in. I love you guys so much. All right, so as earlier discussed in the last video, in this video I'm going to be sharing some of my insecurities with you guys. Yes, that's not so hard, right? I'm going to be sharing some of my insecurities with you guys, but before we get right into those things, guys, please don't forget to subscribe. Yes guys, especially if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you can get notified as soon as I post my content. And also like, share, comment. Yes, I would love to read your comments. That's how I would know what you think about my video. All right, here we are. I'm doing it, guys. I'm doing it. I'm coming back to discuss my insecurities. Who would have thought I would have chicken out? But we're working on consistency. We are working on not doing too much, just move at a pace and figuring things out. Yes, guys. So, when I said insecurities, at the back of my mind, I was thinking physical insecurities because, I do have a lot of that. But I've overcome some of them. Yes, I no longer feel insecure about some of these things, but sometimes it still pokes, like, yeah, like, is that why, but I've overcome some of them, I can say that. But aside from physical insecurities, there are also some, is it mental or emotional or psychological insecurities that one can feel, I believe. But today I'm going to be talking about 3 insecurities, and they're going to be majorly about the upper part, this facial. That insecurity is happening here. Yes, I don't know if you can take a quick guess what it's going to be. Is it my eyes? Is it my nose? Is it my hair? Is it my mouth, lips, jaw, chin, teeth? What could it be? If you guessed teeth, you're right. Absolutely right. So guys, for the longest period of time, I was very insecure about my teeth. I don't know, like, let me say yes, not, my dentition, putting it more in the right terminology. I was very insecure about my dentition, and you guys can see it. Up close and personal. So, what's it with my dentition that was the problem? First off, it was scattered. Second off, there was a gap tooth. I think it's called diastema. Okay. Then, thirdly, my teeth are small. They are tiny. Okay, so oftentimes people, when I was younger, people would say, they'll call me Injuries sometimes. They will call me Enyeku, which means rat tooth. Even if I don't think I've ever seen a rat tooth, but they call me that. And sometimes they just, people just look at you and all of a sudden they're like, your teeth are so tiny, and I'm like, must that, like, I don't know if that's a compliment. I didn't know how to feel about it. So if I want to pronounce the word and it comes out wrong, people have to blame my teeth for that. And I felt very insecure about this because, what's up? Why do I have this kind of dentition? And I was young. I didn't know so much about gene or anything. So I was like, what's the problem? So I remember back then I would always look out for um like people on screen, people in the on TV, to see how many of them have that diastema, gap tooth before I break my tooth. Okay, I would always look out, especially the white people, you know, I mean, we're always looking up to them, right? So I was always looking at almost all the white people I see on screen, none of them have this thing. Is this normal? Am I like abnormal? And you know the funny thing, I wasn't even looking at it, the fact that my dad asked this, but I was just so focused on, am I normal? Why is it? And then I didn't even know how to smile. That was another thing. So anytime we wanted to take a photograph, my mom would be like, smile, and I'm like, oh, I smile, and they're like, they don't know how I do this, that my teeth does not show when I smile. And I'm like, what's with these teeth? What's with this mouth feature that everybody can't stop talking about? Is it that when I'm smiling? I remember one day we were like in secondary school, in my secondary school, when you're about to write WAEC, you camp in school for the duration of the WAEC so that you guys can revise together before the exam. And you know, it was like a camping thing so you guys can really prepare. And I remember one time like that, some of my friends or my classmates, we decided to, okay, do a little tutorial together. And then I was okay, backtrack, don't let me sound serious, because that wasn't actually what we're doing. We went into a classroom and we are all playing, everybody was just playing, and then our proprietor was coming, and then we had to form like we were serious, and someone just said I should go to the front of the class to at least pretend that I was teaching. That was the true story, guys. I wanted to quote it before, but I mean, no harm in telling the true story. So I came to the front of the class. Sorry, I went to the front of the class and I was talking, and all of a sudden, a girl in front was just like, "Why are your teeth so small?" And I was like, "Really? Is that all you could think about? Really?" Like, I mean, although at that point in time, I was still like, I was still feeling somehow about it, but I was I was getting better at it, because okay, people started complimenting me more, as if having a diastema is a big thing. But guys, I'm over it now. I'm over the diastema thing, or the scattered tooth, or whatever it is that is going on with that dentition. I'm over it. But sometimes when I feel like people are paying so much attention to that part, or when people are looking at me too much, I'm just subconsciously thinking, is it my tooth? So there is that. And the fact that when you pronounce something, your gap tooth is to be blamed or something. I mean, it's a good cover in it. I could easily just say it's my dentition that is making me pronounce things that way. But I think that spiraled down to the next insecurity. So the first insecurity is my dentition. It was really hard managing it when I was younger, because I felt like I I mean, if I hadn't gotten over it, I would have gone for maybe like a tooth job or something, having to wear alignments or braces or anything. And who knows, maybe I would still do it. I don't know. But I mean, I'm still comfortable with my skin right now, in my dentition right now, that I don't feel the need to do all of those things. I think it's cute, and it makes me different. It makes me unique. Not anything superb or supernatural, but really it's really a cool feature, and it gets, sometimes it starts conversation, which isn't bad anyway. So aside that, I was going to say that spiraled down to my communication. So I am a very shy speaker, because I feel like I have an accent, and one of those accents where you're about to pronounce Chioma and you're pronouncing Shioma, or you're about to pronounce church and you're pronouncing shush. So you can't blame the Yoruba. Get that I am not to pronounce that. And again, maybe the dentition where S will fly out of nowhere, and people would always want to correct you, or people will look at you like funny. And I don't know, because I told you guys, always wanting to be perfect. So While I was growing up, the funny thing is, aside from my dentition, I wasn't even very bothered about how I pronounce things or communication, grammar, all of those things. But now that I am grown and I am more aware, I am super, super bothered about it, that sometimes I tend not to talk in public because who knows, if I want to say sh, I'll say ch, or if I want to say ch, I'll say sh. And I just don't want any form of embarrassment. I don't know why I'm doing myself such dishonor or discredit, or I don't even know what grammar to use. And that's another thing. I'm usually lost for words or the right vocabulary to use sometimes, and all of this together just kind of affects my communication. I just feel like rather than just talk, just hold it in. My problem is not speaking Yoruba, and that's another thing. I also try as much as possible not to speak too much Yoruba, especially in an environment where people tend to be speaking more of English, and you just don't want to come and speak Yoruba because people will make you feel like, oh, you're speaking Yoruba again. I remember there was a time when I was growing up. There was this guy that lived opposite my house. My mom had a shop in front of the house, in front of our house, and this guy stayed opposite our house. And sometimes when he comes and he's just chatty with me, my sister, and anybody, I think my cousin was also around, and they're just chatting, and maybe we were communicating in English because in fact, at that point, I thought they didn't understand Yoruba because they were always speaking English. And you know, when there were people that go to like maybe these schools that you think, oh, they are like very sophisticated and all of those things. You see what happened just now? Sophisticated. It happens, and those are things that don't want me to come out here and just talk because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to pronounce wrong. I don't know what I'm going to pronounce with an accent that sounds like I'm from Ko Ondo. I don't want to use maybe Egba, Ibadan, or Yo, Oshogo, or any other town, but let me use my hometown, like Ko Ondo. I mean, what's Ko? It's my heritage. I shouldn't feel some kind of way, but because people expect a particular class, a particular way of speaking, you just can't help but to be very conscious of these things. So as I was saying, if they were communicating in English and then subconsciously, because I was so comfortable speaking Yoruba, I would just slip in with Yoruba. And before I realized, I'm like the only one speaking Yoruba, everybody's speaking English. And you know, when you realize that, you're like, hmm, come on, you shouldn't have. I mean, so that, and then this guy one day called me out and was like, can't I help not to speak Yoruba? Like, can I communicate in English without speaking Yoruba and all of those things? And my darling, that thing got to me. Like, woo, it got to me real bad. Another one that I think I haven't really shared is a story, something that happened while I was in and when I say communication, it's usually both oral and written communication. It kind of affects it. I know you'll be wondering, what does your um oral communication has to do with your written communication? But in some ways it kind of affects it, because you know, when you're so used to speaking Yoruba over time and people keep like hammering the fact that, oh, you don't speak so much English, it kind of has this effect on your confidence in speaking English itself. So I kind of lacked the confidence in speaking English, and then that also kind of affected my writing. And when it comes to me speaking and writing, I just I just want to dodge it because I don't want to come off wrongly. And I would say that that's because maybe I think I am something I am not. Yeah, like I see myself as maybe a Chimamanda when I am not even a, I don't know, the the least person I should use. You get, I'm still growing, I'm still learning these things, but I'm always looking at myself like, oh yeah, this thing. And I think I just want to jump process. I don't actually realize that it has to be a process to get to this thing. And when I'm not getting the result because I'm not going through that process, I kind of find ways to give up, and then it just has a way of dealing with my confidence. It just has a way of dealing with me. And then I'm in that space of, I have to be the only one here. I have to be the only one that feels like this. Recently, back to the dentition thing, I recently figured out that a lot of people deal with this dentition thing. They are also not, I'm not just the only one that was feeling like that. But maybe everybody just knows how to mask it, because I was also masking mine. A lot of people might not know that I felt that way about it. And then so with the speaking and everything, some people might think I'm very confident, but no, like reverse is the case. I am not confident. I I would find, like, if I have to avoid speaking and writing, I would do that. So back to the story I wanted to tell you. So this happened in my class, on my class page, and I'm not sure anybody knows, right? I'm not even sure anybody can remember if any of my classmates, my undergraduate classmates, are watching this video. I don't know, watching, if any of my undergraduate classmates are watching this video, I don't know if they can remember. So this happened in my year one. So the thing is, I did pre-degree, and most of us that did pre-degree kind of knew each other, and then we kind of formed a group. And then there was this very, we were so close that everybody, when we resumed into part one, normally, like, people were like, do you guys know each other before? Like, everybody was just flowing. I mean, we've connected on Facebook, on Tugo, and everybody was just flowing. And then when we now created the WhatsApp group for our class page, and then everybody was talking, at that point I was chatty, I was always talking. And then one day, I cannot remember what happened, I was just trying to maybe make fun of somebody. And you know, when you're making fun of somebody, it's always sweet when you're not the one receiving the gas boost. And then all of a sudden, it just enter you, like, you just, like, you guys were pushing, 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 and all of a sudden, everything that they were pushing, it just came back to you like this. You know how you feel, like, woo, I'm now at the center. And if there's something I don't like so much, is to be at the center of attention, especially when it has to do with something serious. I really don't like that kind of attention. Okay, so what happened was, um so they were talking, 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 and I wanted to use a phrase like, I doff my hat. And I don't know where I got the, instead of doff. And to be honest, I really don't think I know the word. And I think that I learned from that, but it was still hard for me, was tough for me, because instead of doff, I actually spelled dope. And in all honesty, I really thought it was dope. That was the correct word. I dope my heart for you. So I wrote, I dope my heart for you, instead of I doff my heart for you. And somebody called me out, and everybody started laughing about it. And I guess everybody thought it was cruise, until I felt very stupid. And after that moment, I stylishly removed myself from that group chat, and from that 100 level straight to my final year and up to this present moment, I am very careful on my group page. I don't talk when it's not necessary. Even when it's necessary, sometimes I ignore if I can ignore, if it is not an emergency or urgent. Do you understand? Like, it was that bad. But after that day, maybe I did a little few mistakes here and there, but I would go and check dictionary before I send that thing. Because, sorry, I'll go and check dictionary before I send that thing, because I don't want anybody to come and, gosh, I felt really, like, there was this, like, you know how that thing will smash your self-esteem. So all of those things, those experiences, those tiny, tiny experiences, like, there are a lot that I cannot even start to talk about now, that I cannot even remember now. But like, all of those tiny, tiny things, you don't just know how they implant into your life, and before you know it, you're beginning to live as though those are the definition, that those are what defines you. And so that was how I had to go into my shell. And I remember somebody telling me while I was in maybe part two or part one, thereabout, it was like, try not to get cocooned. But I wouldn't say I didn't get cocooned, because I think I did get cocooned at some point, because I just didn't know. I like, when it comes to this English language thing, it wasn't just my best friend. And it's not like I won't understand the Yoruba 100%, but English just hard, because people will just start to pick on you. That was a very crazy experience for me. And so my dentition was an insecurity. My pronunciation, accent, and grammar, English construction, English in general. I like another insecurities that I have. Communication is an insecurity. I don't know if it makes sense how communication can be an insecurity, but with all the explanation that I've given, so you would you would understand why it's hard for me to sometimes come out here to say some things, or to even not just out here, even sometimes in public. I'll just hold my peace. I'd rather hold my peace than say trash. And another thing is I am a very fast speaker. That's another thing that also I'm insecure about. So let's say I I work so hard to at least perfect the pronunciation, maybe not 100%, or I work so hard to get my sentences right, grammar check. One thing that really affects me again is the fact that I'm very fast. I speak very fast, and it kind of makes me feel like everybody tends to know how to talk. Like, when I have the things that I want to, I could take my time to do them. Like, people can really talk slow, but I, on the other hand, I cannot talk slow. Like, I just want to get everything out of my mouth. Like, and after I've done that, I'm like, did I pass any message across? And that just kind of affects me. And I try hard to do it the next time to not talk fast, but it's as if I am built to speak fast. Oh, and I don't even know, I can speak fast, but I cannot rap. It's crazy, right? So all of these things are like, for me, I'm like, if I open my mouth to talk, people might be looking at my teeth. But that one is even aside. If I open my mouth to talk and I pronounce sh instead of ch, another thing. I pronounce ch and I pronounce sh and I say s, another thing. I infuse yoba in my word, another thing. Like, there's just a lot of things that borders around this communication thing that are making me very insecure. And guys, and then you want to say something, and lo and behold, your dentition comes in between you and the pronunciation, or in between your voice box and the output. Yeah, like, and what? So these are some of the things that I find really that really gets to me. And when I'm in public, or when I'm amongst anybody anywhere, I just can't help but try as much as possible. And when it's not just when you are trying so much to be perfect, or to not make mistakes, you tend to make that mistake more. And so it's just sometimes very hard for me when I'm in public to communicate with all of these things that I've said, all of these points that I've made. So guys, if you're going through a similar thing, if you are going through similar experience, please share with me. And if it's not even a similar thing, anything you're insecure about, share with me. Let's talk about it. Let's make fun of it. Let's laugh it off. Because at the end of the day, you'll find out that it's not such a big deal. I am not the only one experiencing it. So if you have tips for me to be better at speaking, better at accepting my speech the way it is, I would not mind though. I mean, sometimes when I have to speak, I kind of hold myself and tell myself it's a simple mistake. It should not kill me. I should not die. I mean, even after making the mistake, you ask the ground to open, and if you enter, the ground will refuse to open. Isn't that another thing? So, guys, just let yourself be, I believe. But if you have better tips for us, guys, I would not mind to read. I would not mind to hear from you. So, guys, in order not to bore you guys with so much long video, I would do another part to the insecurities and share with you guys. So guys, thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you for listening to me from the beginning to this very moment. I hope I did not bore you, and I'll catch you guys on the next part of the insecurities. Thank you guys once again. Please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to comment, especially comment. I would really look forward to reading from you guys. And guys, please turn on post notifications so that you can get notified as soon as I post my content. And I mean, I would also appreciate you if you share my videos. Yeah, share my videos. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for listening.
Mm-hmm.